As an artist, do we require beautiful tools to make beautiful images? You're probably wondering, what's a guy with an ugly hat know about beautiful equipment? Well, as an astrophotographer, this was not a great life, okay, if you wanted beautiful equipment. Astrophotography cameras in the past looked like something from the Borg out of Star Trek, completely devoid of emotion, art, aesthetic, or any care or nuance to that which is beautiful. Thanks to ZWO, that's kind of changed in recent years for us as astrophotographers. Now the cameras are pretty colors, they've done a lot of things to get rid of the cables, basically sometimes even integrating these computers right into the cameras themselves, making it basically one cable that you hook up to the camera and that's it, which is a wonderful thing. And it kind of shows, I think, in the amount of interest people have taken in this type of photography, because when they look at it, they're not overwhelmed. They don't look at that and say to themselves, that is something I can never understand, I can never wrap my head around, and therefore I never want to have anything to do with it. Instead, this hobby of astrophotography is growing massively. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that our equipment has gotten prettier. Now think, if you will, for a moment, this video. If it didn't have a pretty favicon video, would you have ever even clicked on it? If it didn't have a nice background behind me, would you continue watching? Yes, I think that making beautiful things are in fact in a lot of ways tied to the equipment that we use. And the inspiration that goes into maybe the artistry of that equipment really does affect our art. Now, I have an art background. I went to art school and we studied artists, and a lot of artists who in their biographies and so forth studied themselves, and especially painting. This is quite well documented for painters. The environment that an artist is in his studio, very much affects his painting. Many famous painters have even commented and said that just changing the colors of their walls had a dramatic influence on the colors and even the subject matter of their paintings. So does the guy with an ugly hat think that you need a camera like this in order to take beautiful pictures? No, you can still do it with an ugly camera. You can still do it with equipment that doesn't really make you inspired just by looking at it. However, I think that it's easier when you have gear that you're kind of proud of looking at. I know when I first bought my OM1s back in the day, I actually had a lot of fun in the studio just taking pictures of my gear. It was great practice for the studio, okay? Balancing out strobes, yeah, that was fun with my old OM1s. My digital cameras from the 4/3 era, not so much, okay? I took some pictures of my E1s for a school project, and then I never revisited that again. So I've used a lot of cameras, obviously. And this isn't even all of them. Good grief, I've got more out back. And after all of this experience, I think I can really safely say that the ones that I was attracted to the most, just because of the way they looked, made me proud to use them, made me want to use them more often, and yeah, I got better art out of them. I used a Nikon for a while, and I have hundreds of thousands of clicks on them. And you know what? I never once felt inspired. Nikon, you've really fallen far from the OM2. That was a beautiful camera, by the way. But they can make beautiful cameras, okay? They've shown that. This guy, he's new to me. It's the OM3. And I think